It's demo time. Get ready. From Adis, welcome to the new demo of Last Cloudia, a new mobile RPG that's just been out for maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm going to say I might be a little bit off on that. Really, really interesting game that has a lot of potential, so let's check it out. Now, one thing that I will say about this game is that the leveling and customization is different from any mobile RPG I've ever seen before. I will be giving in some reasons as to why, but for starters, let's go ahead and just take a look at some of the combat. So right now they have an event right now called the Royal Capital Catacombs. We're going to go ahead and do one round of that, and then I'll kind of go over the full customization that I've been hinting at. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put it on what I would call semi-auto. You basically can control one character at a time. If you've completed a level, you can do it on full auto, but I actually do prefer to control the one character at a time because the AI is not always as smart when it comes to timing the abilities correctly, at least the way that I would want to. So sometimes I would say you're probably better off me doing a manual control. So I'm turning auto off right now. They'll still move on their own and do their standard attacks. I'm more controlling when they do their natural abilities. So I control Zekus. He's the ice mage that I'm using. He's probably my favorite character at the moment. Could change potentially. Now, in this particular game, you're seeing people cause sometimes doing combos and whatnot. If you do the right things at the right time, you can potentially juggle your opponents to where they can't move at all. They even have a system called the break system, which is similar to Final Fantasy 13 stagger system, where if you hit the break limit, they'll basically be staggered, if you will, and not be able to move for a while. You can just take advantage and do massive combos to do massive damage. Now everybody has an ultimate. I'm not going to use my ultimate yet. I'm going to save it for the next round just to kind of, show it off and how much damage it could do in the beginning. Well, what I actually have for this guy is Lexillian. This isn't a damage ultimate. This is more of a booster. So he's going to boost everyone's attack and magic, and then I'm going to use Kakaitis afterwards to deal a whole bunch of damage and combo. So there we go. Lexillian's now going off. Followed by Kakaitis, followed by Blizzard Rain. Look at all that ice falling down. Crazy, right? Now I'm going to start spamming a little bit of Ice Common just to kind of keep the combo going. And of course, the AI will do special abilities whenever they deem necessary. Obviously, that wasn't necessary at all because it was already dead, pretty much. And that's why it's better to control at least someone so you don't have those kind of mistimings. Now, I would advise you to do Blizzard Rain and the opener just to lower their stats a little bit if you're a Zekus player for controlling them. I can also cast magic spells, so when you tap on magic, it'll actually give you the list of spells you're actually able to cast. So in this case, I'll just play Ice Javelin, and you can pick your target. I'm just going to invoke it. I'm not really worried about their resistance or anything. I'll be able to easily win. So as you can tell, now their stats are up again. They can continue to deal more damage, and then you're pretty much good to go. So that's how the combat looks. The graphics does look like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So I'm familiar with that. And that's the kind of graphics I don't mind. So you can autoplay it if you want. I'm not going to do it just for the sake of video. Now, one thing I am going to go over real quick is the arc system, because this is where the full customization goes through. So with the arcs, these are basically abilities you can equip on a character. And then they have certain AP, which are ability points that you need to actually master the ability. Once you've mastered the ability, you can then keep it forever. So if I was to max out HP up, I can then equip something else, and that person who learned HP up will be able to keep it permanently. So that's one of the interesting things about this. So when I go to my party, we'll just look up Zekus right now. Right now, I have the Maiden's Prayer equipped. Right now, the AP is at 248 of 300, so I'm almost done mastering Healing Wind and MP up. And then once I'm done learning that, I'm probably going to then swap arcs and equip Aurora Glacier, because with Aurora Glacier, I can then learn Blizzard, which will tell you what the differences are, where your stats will increase, and things of that nature. It'll also tell you the arc attributes. The attributes are what you gain for having the arc equipped. So you're not only learning an ability, but you're also getting certain, boosts for having it. So in this case, if I equip this one, ice magic damage goes up by 8%, and ice magic requiring 10 MP or less costs minus 1 MP, which is actually a big deal because you only have a certain amount of MP, especially in the early game. So that's going to help you a lot. So definitely a really, really cool thing that you could do. And because of the fact that you can constantly swap arcs gives you full customization. So instead of having to collect like hundreds of different characters, it actually makes the game get away with only having a few characters that you can just, make better personally customized to how you want. So I'm going to make Zekus like my main spellcaster specifically for ice. So he's my ice wizard. Of course, you got the main character here, which I would use for more tankish type stuff. Well, actually, both of these are particularly tankish type people to use. So when I go to units, this guy right here is Kyle. He's the main character in the game. So I usually use him, for tanking and dealing damage. Same for Ray. Obviously, Zekus is the ice mage. She's more of the support in the background, dealing lots of damage. You've got Lena, who's more of a healer slash spellcaster kind of thing. You got the thief. I haven't used Robin for anything yet, so I don't know. And then of course you have the White Knight, who's more of a paladin type, more tankish or whatnot. Now each person does sometimes come with their own traits in the beginning. Like she has White Fang. I believe Zekus also has his own thing where he starts off reducing MP needed for ice magic. So that's really cool too with this whole like ice wizardry stuff. So, some people start off with their own abilities, and then of course, as you're leveling up arcs and stuff, and the actual character themselves, you can gain more traits and more abilities. So if I go to skill set, this basically shows everything that I can set if I want to. So right now he can actually use thunder and burning and rock type, abilities. But right now I'm kind of keeping him on the ice thing, just for the sake of being different. Well, of being persistent. We have MP up and have magic defense up. Just other stuff that I've learned as I've been getting arcs and whatnot. And then of course you can also unlock abilities. This is for each character specifically. There's pretty much a big circle where you can start learning abilities and increase their HP, their magic, their defense, stuff like that. And then not only can you learn new abilities, but you can also make certain abilities better by learning it again. So that's pretty much what that is. And as you can tell, the circle of blue only goes up to a certain amount. That's mainly because in order to unlock certain abilities, you have to enhance them more. So the more they're enhanced, the wider the circle will get. It's where you can learn better abilities. And that's kind of where you want to spend some of your gold is on that. but that's not where I would start with. You can also awaken characters. I haven't quite gotten to that point yet. You need their own souls to do that, and that just basically makes their certain specials better and their stats much better. But I'm not quite at that point yet. But the main thing about this game is you're wanting to. Oh, you can also equip too. I'm sorry. This is probably, in my opinion, the least important thing because you know you have limitations to your equipment unless that changes in the future. To me, that's the least important thing. But the arc is 100% the most important thing. Now, in order to level up the arcs, you basically select the arc that you want, and then you can do arc level up. And then the more levels that you give it, the better your arc attributes will be, the better your stats you'll be for equipping it, and the more things you could potentially learn. It takes souls to level up each arc. Some take blue and some take red. Now, how do you get those? That is through the go to the world map here, and you're going to go to a little spot that lets you basically get it automatically. It's called the soul spot. There are blue spots and red spots. You use gold to level them up. So if you click on the green circle with the plus sign, this area I can use gold to level up the capacity, how much I can store in total, because you have to level that up to be able to hold more. The more you can hold, the better chances you'll be able to actually learn some of the more expensive stuff, because you can't automatically learn the expensive stuff by just grinding and skipping those small stuff. You do need to level this up, and it does take blue souls to level up the red souls. So since my max is 39,000, I can't level up the red soul tank because it needs 46,000. So that's the importance of leveling certain things. And also I can level up the speed or rate at which I get them, and how much each one can hold themselves. When you go to collect all, you basically get them all up to wherever they are, and then they continue to just grow. So for this one right here, if I wanted to level this up, I would also need quite a bit of gold, or Zell they call it, to do so. So that's, it tells you how much you get per hour and what your maximum capacity will be raised to, from or to. So very, very important to get that up. This is also your stamina meter as well. So the arcs that you equip have a cost to use them. So I'll go back to my characters real quick, or my party, I should say. If you go to your party, it'll actually show you how much it costs. So under Zekas, the arc that's below it costs 170 blue souls. So if I go play a level, I need 170 plus 70, which will make it 240, plus 15 red in order to go play that next level. So not only does the souls help you level up your arcs, but it is your stamina as well. Now, for me, it kind of is a little off-putting to me. I would prefer the stamina to be its own thing, but I assume once you're at higher levels, it doesn't even matter. So when you're logging in, you just play the game, play the game, play the game, and then when you need to go to work or go to school or whatever you're doing, you can then just spend the rest of your blue and red souls on leveling an arc, and then just go about your day. Because if I were to blow it all right now on leveling something, I won't be able to play the game because I won't have enough souls to play the game. So there is a balancing act to this game, but I assume that as you get to higher levels, it becomes not even noticeable. So that's where you're at there. And then on the bottom right where you say support unit, you can actually change, uh, you know, is basically when you're playing the game, the fourth slot is whoever your helper is. So my helper right now is actually the main character. I will go ahead and just switch it to him, and then I could even switch him to a glacier so it'll be more fitting. So there you go. So then he'll get whoever uses my helper will get Zekas at his level 25 using that arc. And that's pretty much how you customize. So this kind of reminds you of the materia system where if you equip something, you learn it. The only difference is in this game is you only get the ability once it's mastered, and once it's mastered, you keep it permanently. You don't need the arc anymore unless you're just using it for its passive abilities. So really, really cool system. It does make up for the fact that you only have a certain number of characters. and that's fine because the arcs is where the customization goes. But I've never seen a mobile RPG that has this much full customization. That's really really cool. So I can make my ice wizard not even much of a spellcaster. I could just give him a bunch of strength and stuff if I wanted to. Not going to, but there's just a lot of customization you can do. Now there are limitations. So when I go to the unit, and we'll just go with my favorite right now. As you can tell, when I go to, I think it's skill set. So skill costs has a cost of 20. So if I already have, let's say, 30 different skills here I can equip, I'm only going to be able to equip so many because I have a limitation. Now that can be increased, assuming up to a limit of 50, unless that ever changes. But that can increase, make it to where you can use more abilities. But it does have a cap, so you can't just learn everything and have everything. The limitations are good because that provides you customization so that when the arena becomes unlocked, it's not just one person who has everything unlocked and kills everyone. You actually have to think about, well, which abilities do you need to make this character better? So, you can come up with some very clever ideas that can make the meta really, really fun and interesting, at least in the beginning. So I like that. That's really, really cool. Like I said, mobile RPGs don't do that. They don't give you this kind of customization, and the arcs really make that happen. Now, obviously, the game is a bit grindy, which personally I don't mind. But you know, for some people that could be something that you're not interested in. One thing that I'll also mention as well is the gotcha system. What should you buy? So your main income for purchasing certain things here are crystals. You can get Halloween packs and all of that stuff. They also have where you can spend money on some of these crystals. Personally, I wouldn't spend my money on just buying crystals. If you're gonna spend money, I would go to the what I call the power ups. And I'm in the wrong space, so don't go to Gotcha. Go to Shop. I'm sorry. So for those of you wanting to know what is it worth spending my money on if I want to support the company, anything that's like and not necessarily the Halloween one specific, you can, but I would do the power up packs, and then that will give you more bang for your buck. Now, I want you to take note of a clear difference here. On the one that says power up pack by itself, it costs 480 crystals, and the crystal just shows a crystal. To the right of it, it says power up pack L. Now, notice that the cost is different and the crystal says buy. So there's a difference. So when I click on the one that says power up pack by itself for 480, it shows you how many crystals I have and how many I'll have left. I click buy and I'm done. And again, it's a good buy. I might even buy it. But the power up packs that actually have the word buy on it, so the one next to it that says 1200, it says paid crystals. So that means that in order to be able to utilize this particular offer is you do have to actually spend money for said crystals. And then you use those paid crystals to get this particular thing. Personally, I don't like that. It's overcomplicating because when I first, was trying to get stuff, I saw, one of these little packs. I was like, man, I have enough crystals. Why is it not letting me do it? These are paid crystals, where if you go to the other one, it just says crystals. So that's the difference. So again, it's a little confusing, a little misleading. I don't like that. I kind of wish that, if you either have crystals or you don't. Don't make it to where like certain ones I have to buy, certain ones I can use for just grinding. I think that you should be able to go either way, especially for those of us like myself who are on a budget and can't constantly just buy. So a little off-putting, but that is if you're going to spend money, it would be on something like this. If you do get what I would consider stuff that's worth it, I just don't like the way that they kind of do it to where it's like regular crystals and then purchase crystals. A little overcomplicating. Same with this, the unit only tickets and the power up pack L. This is another thing that I would say would be good as far as if you do want to spend money on the game. These kind of things are worth it. So, if you're the kind of person that can afford to spend the money, this would definitely be worth it too. Just the stuff that you get for it is worth it. I'll tell you that much. It is worth it. So we've went over the gotcha stuff as far as like, what do you buy? As far as with your gold or what they call Zell, I would use that to level up your the stuff on the world map that I was showing you, where you level up your production of your souls. I would level up that. I'm not gonna play the actual story. This is kind of a new game, and the story is kind of it's interesting, and I don't want to ruin it for nobody. So at least interesting in my opinion. But yeah, use your gold for the most part to level up the little spots, I guess, to make sure that you can produce more per hour and you can level up that stuff. Because the more souls you can get, the more you can level up your arcs, and the more you can level up these as well. But this game is actually really good. Has a lot of potential. Like I said, the only complaints I really have is the whole buy and non-buy crystals. This game for mobile is only in portrait mode and not landscape. I wish I could use landscape instead. It's a lot easier for me. But you take what you can get. It is a good game, and that's why I'll put up with it. Graphics look like Final Fantasy Brave Exvius to a degree, which I actually like. I'm cool with that. Which I guess explains why it's only in portrait mode. But anyway, um, and the only other thing that I would really complain about is I kind of wish the stamina was a little bit separate from leveling up arcs and stuff like that. I think stamina should be its own thing, but in the higher levels, it probably doesn't make a difference. Other than that, this game is fantastic. The story's good. The graphics is really good. The full customization you won't find in any other mobile RPG that I'm aware of, because again, it has a small list of characters, but the way that you can customize them is you can make them pretty much anything, and that's really really cool. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hope this has been a good demo for you. I will definitely be playing this game long term, and maybe make more videos if I come up with any kind of clever tricks or tips to help out beginners. But until that happens, you guys keep gaming and take care.